Good evening everyone, welcome to round one of FGM eCast presenting the Australian Endurance E-Championship. This is GT Enduro, we are at round one and we've had quite a turnout here. 32 cars so far on the grid doing practice. The race today is Bathurst. This one to finish qualifying before we get underway. So a little bit of an issue with the overlay there, just a typical evening, so we'll get that refreshed as we can. Everything else displaying as we need it to there. So we're into just the tail end of 45 minutes qualifying, 45-minute practice session here, followed by 15 minutes qualifying. And then an hour 45 race, so a slight change in our setup here for this series this season. And part of that is to try and see how we go with a little bit of fuel strategy as well. So we will see what that change makes to the series. We've got 3 different categories running in the series tonight with the LMP2 car. In fact, we'll jump on board with one of those LMP2 cars now. In Ash McQuirkin, running in the Nismo livery, and that is our fastest category tonight. We've got that, of course. We do have our traditional GT3, Matty Bowler, just jumping in there. Obviously a powerhouse result for him and the NSR boys last week, taking out a 1-2-3, and then we'll jump on to another one of the NSR cars in Brock Schaefer, ever fast in the BMW M4 GT3 prototype. The NSR team took to victory at the recent Bathurst 12 hour, so got a huge field of GT3 cars, the more popular category on iRacing at the moment. Unfortunately, only 2 of the Dalaras turning out. We did have more drivers coming into the season wanting to run that car, so not entirely sure where they've gone. Maybe found something else to do on a Wednesday evening. But what I can tell you, 31 cars will grid up to start the race. We've got an open 15-minute qualifying session here. So we're going to be looking at a pretty packed pit lane with guys trying to get out and get clear air, particularly those drivers in the Dalaras, those LMP2 cars, fast and quick around here. Only 2 of them, unfortunately, in that class. So guaranteed top 3 spot if they finish, but we'll get some work on that as well. On board with Jason Muscat, back in the series for another year. Of course, part of the now renamed Crank Esports team. Back in his favoured RSR Porsche. His teammate tonight, Brett Douglas, also jumping back into the series. Brett Douglas, of course, has finished in Season 1 of our AEE series as runner-up to Chris Purnell, that back then running the GT40, moved into the Porsche as well. That's had a little bit of time out of iRacing and is back into it full swing with Crank Esports as the team's engineer as well. So doing a lot of development with the car, certainly plenty of practice sessions throughout the week. Managed to get the Porsche hooked up. Another man that we welcome back to the series as well is Neil Yates, who joins us. He had a little bit of time out too overseas and what have you, but jumps back in as part of the ever-growing NSR stable of cars as well. He's running in the GT3 category tonight, so we'll keep an eye on Neil. Does do go-karting with a number of the other drivers as well, so look out for him as he jumps back into the team. A number of returning drivers as well. Reece Ashmore jumping back on board. He's jumped into the GT3 in the 981 Motorsport entry Lamborghini there, and of course his partner in crime is Jaden Sweeney in the all carbon fibre version of the same car. So they running their first race for the season in that Lamborghini. Run through a couple of the newer drivers as well, so just pulling off to the side there, one of the guys from the Redback race team doing the right thing to get out of the way. So let's jump on board. Furthest car around the track so far is this man here, Jason Muscat. He's got Braden Nash coming up hot and heavy behind him in that Dallara. He's going to have that traffic to deal with all night, Braden, as he makes his way up the field. But it is customary for us to stick on the first car out for their first flying lap to get an idea of the times. Braden Nash is going to try and make his way by here where he can, and unfortunately Musco there just running a little bit wide. So we'll jump off him and jump on board instead with Braden. He'll be not happy with himself, but he's got time to get back to the pits, get that car fixed, and get on with it. So Braden's flying in that Dallara. It's always going to be a challenge around here with the traffic to get a clean lap. Of course, across the top of the mountain there, not able to do too much. 30 car there of Shannon McMillan just making way for him, which will be grateful for, no doubt. And getting nice and wide there. Fastest part of the track. Let's jump on board here, see how fast we end up getting down the straight. Brilliant sounding thing, this Dallara. Came into iRacing with a bit of a bang. And he's pulled out of the lap braid now, I think, just because of the interruptions as he managed to make his way around. And he'll go again. Let's see what he can pull out of it. Thanks very much for the follow, the artist. We appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Join us during qualifying here on board with Braden Nash. Some of the first lap times do start to come through. We've got Matty Bowler, who's done a 58.33. Tomo back for another season in AEE with a 59.53, and Brett Douglas right behind him with a 59.67. We've got Riley Bilson, second race in the AEE, jumping in that Porsche. He's done a 59.8. Lofty back again for another year in that fantastic liveried M8 BMW. He's just dropped in a 2-minute. The traffic is going to be an issue. Julian Lamarcina again in for a second week. He had a really strong run last week. And Brock Schaefer, 202, flying in that M4 BMW. I have seen him go quicker. The traffic's going to be a factor here for him. Don't be too surprised to see him drop right down into the 201s. So far, Jaden Sweeney with the 205, next fastest. So there is going to be plenty of congestion tonight. It's going to be a matter of getting clean laps in. As Ash McClurkin so far goes fastest in the Dallara with a 52.93. It's not too bad a start. We're hoping to get a little bit lower than that as he gets on with things. Braden Nash so far coming through. Just coming down through the chase now. A little bit rough through there, but certainly know that Braden's no slouch. And does jump into pit lane. Still 9 minutes to go here. Plenty of time for drivers to get things done. You can see here Jason Musco must get back out on track. He's got the rear wing fixed on that Porsche, and he'll go again. Timothy Russell returns for another year. He is running for Redback again. They're very, very eye-catching Barry Pairs livery there. Andre Cortez rejoins the series as well. And there is a huge crash at the top of the mountain. Looks like, unfortunately, that has ruined his lap. Jordan Malcolm back for his second week, and again, first run in this series. So we've got plenty of new drivers here, plenty of returning drivers as well. So let's see, 8 minutes to go. Who is going to bring it out? Turn on qualifying mode here for the remainder of this so we can start to have a look at some of the fastest sectors. We'll keep an eye on the fastest drivers of each category. Ash McClurkin so far on pole in the Dallara with a 152.93. He was having some issues with setup in that car, but he's obviously managed to get that fixed throughout the week in practice and get it hooked up. At the moment, Matt Bowler still fastest in the GTE category. We're not too far off behind him, and we do have Brock Schaefer currently sitting on pole for the GT3 category. Matt Bailey at this stage not setting a time. Chris Ashmore still just looking to get his first lap in. He was unfortunately impeded as he got his way around the track just before, involved in that accident across the top of the mountain. Definitely be a case of keeping your nose clean here. Top speed in that Dallara, 304 k's an hour. Sorry, that just popped up on my screen there. It's massive, massive for those Dallaras. They'd be unbelievable to take for a lap around here. With heavy traffic now, starting to slow some of our GTE drivers down as they try and make their way around 4 laps. Jump on board here with Martin Lofthouse. Currently 2:03 in the BMW so far, up in the second sector. A little bit of damage on the right hand front corner of that BMW. He's going to bring that one across the line. And just slightly improve on his last lap time, so he currently sits in 6th position outright. Nicholas Schmallenberg, equally part of that JWM team. Jaden Sweeney goes fastest, moves himself up to 6th in class with a 2:05.21. So Nick joins the series as well. Jordan Malcolm's just done a 2:03.65 in the GT3 category to move himself up to 2nd in class. Jordan, hindered by a lack of practice last week, not able to get the car set up quite to his liking, but this week hopefully managed to get some time in to get some practice done, as Nicholas just has to pull out of that lap there with a little bit of damage. So on board here again now with Jason Muscat, who is up on his prior lap. Comes down on Forest Elbow, just locks the brake a little. That'll affect his run on the way out down the back straight. Conrad, how dare I call it, the back straight. Braden Nash up 2 purple sectors at the moment, so he is flying, trying to get things done. He's just about to come around and complete that lap. So he had done a 52.97 unofficial lap, with him now crossing the start-finish line. And he does go to pole with a 49.13, top speed 310 kilometres an hour. Down Conrad. Reese Ashmore just moving out of the way there. The Lamborghini straight line speed, certainly no match for that Dallara. It's a challenging circuit to set the Dallara up for too, which I think may have scared a couple of the other drivers who committed to it away. Comes around the corner there, fair amount of damage unfortunately. There was a spin, again that looks like that was Nicholas Schmallenberg. Just might have been struggling a little bit there. There we go, the overlay's finally reset. So really, really keen for drivers here. They want to try and get their quick lap in early in these sessions, just with the volume of cars on track. It's very, very difficult to get a clean lap in at full pace, particularly with variance in tyre pressures, grip levels as well. It's early morning the session, deliberately done so, but track grip maybe not quite just there yet for a number of these cars set up to run in slightly warmer weather. It's not going to get too hot here today though. We did see during the Bathurst 12-hour temperatures up into the 50-degree mark. Just gets the Kyle Gretsch, just gets the car pulled up there. It's going to get across the start-finish line. Looks like just a slight improvement on his time, still sitting 14th overall. Tim Russell just pops up in 2nd place there with a 2:03.17. Only a few tenths away from Kyle Gretsch in front of him, but in class just over a second away from Brock Schaefer. One flyer from Brock. That 2:02.01 still keeping himself out in front. I did see him drop into the 2:01s yesterday in practice. Of course, a clearer track may have resulted in that. talking about clear air. The GTEs, GT3s, probably not too different in terms of overall pace across the top of the mountain. It's really down and up the mountain in terms of Conrod and the climb that there is a big difference. That's where you find that couple of seconds that the GTEs manage over the GT3s, particularly in the run out. Reece Ashmore comes around to complete his first flying lap. Again, a little bit impeded by some traffic. He'll have just enough time. Let's just see something shooting in the background there. He'll have just enough time to get one more lap in, so hopefully for him, the late dash is going to enable him to move himself up the grid a little. Whereas Polito so far not putting in a time. Matt Bailey, no time either. Shannon McMillan equally with no qualifying time as yet. A lot of the drivers have put the queue in the rack, so it's a good time to be out on track. If you're trying to grab pole position, you're trying to make sure you set a time. Still on board with Ashmore here, so he makes his way around, and he's just grabbed a little bit too much of the inside of that curb there. And that will put an end to it, as he's, oh jeez, just managed to jump out of the way. Not ideal. Jump back on board with Matty Bowler, who's going to finish out another lap. As we get to the end of official qualifying here, round one. Normally we say Bathurst for the finale, but this year we thought we'd just chuck it up the front. Most of these drivers having done the 12-hour here just recently. So we thought while their eye is in, let's send it in the GTE, GT3 and the LMP2 cars on FGME cars. Matty Bowler, purple sectors here, so he is up. May well improve on his qualifying time, just missing out on doing so. In fact, no, just improving it, so a 57.98 fastest lap for him. Jeff Thomas gets a 59.03. And I'll tell you who else is flying. Oh, he's actually pulled out of the lap, was Sebastian Murray Westberg. He was on a flyer. Geordie Malcolm will probably get this lap finished, so he has a chance to move himself up on an unimpeded track. Brock Schaefer also out there making his way around. Julian Lamasina, he's going to head across the start-finish line now. Matt Dexter moved himself up one place with his last lap effort. Now let's Julian go with his last lap effort. He's got some green sectors in there, and he does move himself up one position ahead of Jason Muscat. Geordie Malcolm's making his way down through the chase now. He's got one green sector, looking to improve on an 0365. Currently got him in 5th position in class. As he brings it down through the last turn, and he'll head across the start-finish line. And unfortunately not able to improve, so he will start out of position 5 in class. Brock Schaefer equally coming across the start-finish line and not improving on his time, but no need to either, so he is still pole position sitter in that class. Smoke cruises to a halt, so just wait for this to finish up before we run through our grid. It is a rolling start here as part of the Endurance series. So the drivers will get a small portion of a parade lap and they will head off and get running. So it's quite a long carry on here just because of the length of the track. Looks like Julian Lamasina is going to actually get this lap in. No, and as I say that, of course, it goes off. So let's bring up the grid on screen for the first time this season in the Australian Endurance E Championship. We do have 3 categories here, the LMP2s. It is only 2. Braden Nash, Ash McClurkin, who are on the front row of the grid. They will be controlling the pace of the start. They will go when the light goes green, followed by our GT3 category. I'm not quite sure how that's happened. That's going to make it interesting for the drivers. All the GT3s are ahead of the GTE cars. So we've got Brock Schaefer, Timothy Russell off that front row. That is absolutely a mistake, and apologies for that in advance. We've got Brendan Jenner, followed by Michael Spithill. We've got Jordan Malcolm, Hayden Carroll, Ron Polito, Sebastian Murray Westberg, Neil Yates, Phil Polito. If we move further back, Jaden Sweeney, Cam James, Matthew McMillan, Shannon McMillan, Rez Polito, Reese Ashmore, and Andre Cortez for the GT3 drivers. In terms of the GTE category, we've got Matty Bowler, Jeff Thomas, Martin Lofthouse, Brett Douglas, and Riley Bilson, followed by Matty Broom, Julian Lamasina, Jason Muscat, Matt Dexter, Nicholas Schmelienberg. We've got Kyle Gretsch and Matt Bailey rounding out our grid. So that is very, very frustrating that that has happened, and I'll have to look into why that is. Running exactly the same classes as last season, just with the addition of 1 extra car, and for some reason it's gridded the cars up back to front, so it's going to make it challenging for those GTE cars. They're going to have to make their way through, and we'll have to see how this fares. It's going to be an interesting one. Now 45 minutes here on FGM Ecast, and I can tell you it's going to be a very, very interesting one. So we'll get this underway. We'll head off with our race pairing that's going to start this one. We've already got 1 car off, which is not ideal. Just in the background there, the LMP2s look to get us underway. The safety car will peel off very, very late indeed, and it will be Braden Nash, Ash McClurkin getting us underway. They form up, waiting for the light to go green, and there it goes. They're off and racing. We're going to jump back and have a look at the GTE category get underway as well. This is going to make things extraordinarily interesting, so we watch and try and make sure these GTEs get through the field, and off and running they go as well. So Andre Cortez he's going to get absolutely caught up in all of this, so hopefully he can move off the track to the left and let these faster cars through. And he has not managed to do that at all. In fact, he's taken Brett Douglas out in the process, which is not ideal at all. So we'll just get back through that one.
What's his car number? Alright. Is he not supposed to be in here? Yeah, I saw that. Alright. Straight from the server or just from the race? Right. Okay.
Oh, mate, look, I'm just Yeah. It past seasons with the same bloke, you know what I mean? Like, for fuck's sake. Yeah. No, it's all right, mate. He touched the grass and just fucking put me on the lid, you know what I mean? Like, it's... Anyway, mate, I'm a lap down. I'll just circulate for a while. Not much else I can do.
Alright, Stewie.
So, man. No, you're all right, mate. Thanks.
Sorry guys, just some admin stuff to go on with there. So we've continued on. Give you a bit of a rundown. So we do have Braden Nash out in front already in the NSR liveried Dallara. He's doing a great job out in front there, 6 seconds ahead already of Ash McClurkin. We've got Brock Schaefer currently up in first position in the GT3 category. As I said, it's going to be a very challenging night for a lot of our GTE drivers who are going to struggle to make their way through. They're going to have to be patient. Equally, our GT3 drivers will have to be really, really on to make sure that they can let everyone through as they need to.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So Brock Schaefer out in front. We've got Matty Bowler making his way through at the moment. He's making light work of the GT3, so he's getting his way through the field. That is going to be the challenge for everyone. Thanks very much, Marky, for the follow. We really appreciate it. A lot of the GT3 drivers, though, do a lot of endurance racing, so they'll be aware of how to make their way through the slower cars. Disappointing for Brett Douglas there, getting taken out of the race early on. He is back out on track and will continue to circulate. His car will be repaired. Unfortunately, his night ruined by lack of space given. Continue on, so Lofthouse making his way up Mountain Straight. He's being given plenty of room as well by Sebastian Murray Westberg. Again, another very experienced endurance driver. We've been keen to see him in the LMP2 as well. So instead, a lot of the guys use the series for practice for the endurance racing that they do during the iRacing special events, and that's absolutely why we designed the series the way that we have, so that they can do that. So good race experience for them to get that done. So it looks like Res Polito there, just making space, doing the right thing as well. As you guys know, those of you who watch the stream, drivers that do the right thing get the most coverage, and the Polito brothers are definitely in amongst that group of drivers. We know they have a huge following as well on the stream. So on board with Rez as he makes way for Matty Dexter and Nicholas Schellenberg to get past him without any issue. They always run fantastic livery cars, the Polito boys. Variation between three colours. They run a red, a yellow and a blue. And as I said, we love having them in our stream. And also their whole family which get behind them in the hobby and support it. So great to see them back for another season of enduro racing. Reece Ashmore right behind him, just trying to feel his way through it, maybe put a move onto Rez to move up the field a little bit where he can. And so far so good, I have to say, by all the drivers. Matty Bowler right up behind. He's chasing Brock Schaefer. There he is there, that massive M8. And I tell you what, when he gets up behind Brock Schaefer, they'll be trying to have some fun. Brock will not let him past easily, even though they're teammates. Timothy Russell not too far away either from making his way up. There he is there in behind. He's going to try and catch up to Brock as well. Jeff Thomas trying to make his way through. So far so good. Drivers all behaving. And allowing race room where they need to while this grid sorts itself out. As Riley Bilson, we just had notification. He's had an incident and come back to that one. He's jumped straight out into the pits, which is good. A file up. We're only less than 10 minutes into the race. If you are in the chat, drop a question, drop a hi. Let us know that you're watching, who you're watching. And certainly we would love to chat with you. We love interacting with the audience. If you don't do so, please drop a follow or a like onto the page. Share the stream if you feel so inclined, just to let your friends know what you're watching on Wednesday night. Try and get more people involved in the stream. As we have an hour and 36 to go on this one. Round of pit stops will be due at around about 45 minutes to go. Some drivers will try and push that as far as they can, as Matthew Bowler does come up onto the back of Brock Schaefer now. So let's watch and see how wide the elbows on the Schaefer BMW are. May not have too much of a choice going up the straight here, but I can tell you if it gets into turn 2, which it won't unfortunately, he would have made it hard work I reckon. But just sticking there to the left hand side, the M8 having much more legs over its little brother the M4, and he gets the job done there and moves up into the lead of the GTE category. Jeff Thomas second in that category at the moment. He's just got past that pair of NSR BMWs driven by Brendan Jenner and Hayden Carroll. Hayden jumping into that team this week for his first run, I believe. So joining it. Then we've got Martin Lofthouse currently in third, teammate to Jeff Thomas. Again, both back for another season. And it does drop away a fair way to Julian Messina in the NSR Porsche. He had a great race last week, coming from the back of the field, taking third. And he's had a big moment there. He's gone right wide, and he has done a fantastic job. Fantastic job to carry that and not end up causing a huge accident. That's great driving by Julian. He's going to have to get that one back to the pits. There's going to be a little bit of damage on that. He may end up able to keep going as he rejoins now safely and gets the NSR Porsche back underway. So fantastic driving there from him. He'll be upset with himself, but the driving was extremely good to not wreck a couple of other cars and races. So well done, Julian. If we can get that damage repaired, he'll be able to drive that one back to the pits and continue to get on with it. Battle of the former teammates here. We've got Jason Musket. He's trying to chase down, as you can see down off in the distance there, Jaden Sweeney, who's putting the pressure on to Sebastian Murray-Westberg as well. Fantastic livery on the Crank Esports cars. In fact, they have their liveries done by iRace Designs, so give them a plug. Looking for a livery done, maybe contact iRace Designs and support people that support the iRacing community in general. He's got Matty Broom behind him in one of those Redback Race Team liveried or sponsored, no, it's not even sponsored, in one of the Redback Race Team Porsche sponsored by Bow Repairs. Again, another shout out to Bow Repairs who sponsor that team. You can see there's plenty of cars there for that. Flashing lights in the background. That's Kyle Gretsch trying to make his way through. Matty McMillan making room for him. We'll just jump on board with this battle here. We've got Murray-Westberg and Jaden Sweeney right behind him. Those GTEs have caught up. Just a little bit behind there with former teammates Jason Musket and Jaden Sweeney. Just running against one another there. Jason will be aware that Jaden will look after him when he can. As he does there, just moves onto the inside line. Does a good job in letting those cars come through. Another Porsche to contend with here. And he does the right thing as well. So again, good driving from Jaden Sweeney there, just to make sure, it did impact his race a little bit there, just to make sure he didn't cause an accident. So we like it. plenty of work to do on his livery. He'll get that done, I'm sure. At the moment, just running the carbon has got Kyle Gretsch there, just hugging the wall down the inside. Plenty of damage to that Porsche. He's now got a train GT3s behind him, including Nicholas Schmellenberg making his way through. So there's plenty of battles developing right throughout the field. Try and keep our eye on them all. It's a little difficult, obviously tons of cars. Another battle here between Neil Yates, who we welcome back to the series. He's in the M4 GT3 prototype. He's got Ron Polito right behind him in the same car. Ron, a driver very well known for the consistency and for his progression throughout the field as well. So he will continue to put the pressure on Neil Yates. Jordy Malcolm just in front of him, about 2 seconds up the road. Another very fast driver joining the field. So looking forward to that. So it does look like Reece Ashmore has got the move done on Res Polito there. So Reece Ashmore moves up one position, currently into 15th ahead of Res. That battle will continue. A big cheer in the stream for the man on the screen. He's currently battling away with Matty Broom. Again, Matty, quick driver last year. No different this year, so Jason will be feeling the pressure. Just managed to gap a little bit there on the last lap, 3/10 up on Matty. Traffic probably having a little bit to do with that, but they've got a good gap now. 2.5 seconds away from Ron Polito in the next of the GT3s that they will have to make their way through. Whereas the Porsche gets a little bit sideways there for Musco, but he manages to grab it down through the dipper. And I'll tell you who's making his way through the field as well is the race leader, Braden Nash. Currently he has dropped a lap on every car up to 10th position outright, and in fact that car is there right now as Michael Spithill. Drivers, again, as I said, keep saying it because it's a big mistake that I've made in fact I'm not even sure that I'm to blame for it, but ultimately accountable in the way that it gridded up tonight with the GT3s being in front of the GTEs, so everyone doing a great job to redress that error in setup. A bit rusty with the time we've had away from the stream, but you can just see the absolute outright pace difference between the Dallara and the GT3s and the GTEs, just in terms of grip and raw outright straight line speed. So it's good practice for the guys. We'll get a little bit harder as those marbles develop on the outside of the track. So I have to be aware of that. Murray Westberg there just getting passed by Kyle Gretsch. He probably won't take that line down, to be honest. There's a lot of damage on that Porsche. We said Jaden's off in the distance, around about 4 seconds further back. Closest battles at the moment. Still got Ron Polito. He's got Matty Broom coming up behind him. That isn't a class battle, so he'll probably let him go forward. So allowed Jason Muscat a little bit of a gap. Breath of fresh air there. Shannon McMillan, Cam James arguing away there as well. They've got a faster car behind them. Schellenberg just struggling a little bit to get through there. Block on the track. But McMillan and Cam James battling away. Looks like Res Polito's managed to get his way back past Reece Ashmore as well. And who was that? We've got Kyle Gretsch, who's facing the wrong way. Really needs to eject, and he has done just that. That's unfortunately caused Phil Polito to have to jump back into the pits. Let's have a look at this in a replay. Oh wow, he's just grabbed way too much curb up there, and he's gone in with way too much pace and ended up across the track there. He's tried to get it out of the way. How was that? Oh, it's Phil Polito's just had his own incident, in fact, separate to that one, so we'll go back and just have a quick look at what's happened to Phil. Just managed to grab, I think, a little bit too much pace across the top there, yeah, and just been completely out of position lost the back of the car, so we've seen professionals do that as well. Easy enough to do. He'll get that repaired and he will get back out on track. Head back live. So Kyle Gretsch will get that car repaired as well. So those two guys will get back out and run when they can. So it looks like Reece Ashmore there just getting the move done again on Res Polito. So this battle continues between those two. Unit of the Lamborghini and the M4 GT3. As things start to space out. We've got a real good battle on our hands here. Nicholas Schmallenberg's just caught in the middle of a GT3 warfare. It's all Lamborghinis between Shannon McMillan, Matthew McMillan and Cam James. It's just on the tail end of it. Welcome to the series, the McMillan brothers and Cam James as well. It's some good practice. Not too many of these endurance races each month. Next one is at the end of the month, is at the very famous Sebring circuit, so that's where we're headed next. Polito makes his way back out of pit lane. At this stage, unfortunately, he is a lap or so down. He's actually he's almost a full lap down on the rest of the field. Brett Douglas there making up time as well. He's currently, actually, albeit he did have to eject and go back into the pits. He's only 3/4 of a lap down. He will make his way back through the field in that Porsche. So the hour and a half will aid him a bit. He'll manage to make his way back up into, it wouldn't surprise me if at this stage he manages to make his way up into the top 12 cars or so, which would be a great effort. Currently running 9th in class after unfortunately being taken out on the climb up the mountain the very first time. Sebastian Murray Westberg is currently about 7 seconds behind Ron Polito and Neil Yates, 7th and 8th in class. And the leader at this stage, Brock Schaefer, currently 5th, but he is 5th outright and 1st in class, 5th outright. Currently running a couple of seconds shy of the GT3, so that will change. But he's done a ripping job at the start of this race, as we expect. 2:03.36, fastest time so far for him. And he does have Timothy Russell second in category. Martin Lofthouse just behind him there. He'll end up moving up as the reshuffle continues in the GTEs. Jason Muscat up into 4th at the moment. And Matty Bloom currently in 5th, so a little bit of gap there between those two. So Martin Lofthouse does get the job done on Brock Schaefer heading up the mountain. So things are finally starting to settle. So we've had some interesting racing, but I'm sure the drivers don't appreciate it. So, but not too bad for us on the stream. Being able to have a look at what's been going on between the GT3s and the GT8s. In the chat watching the stream, let us know who you want to have a look at. Give some time to the drivers that you want to see. Unfortunately, Riley Bilson so far out of the action. We've got Andre Cortez out and Matty Bailey out as well. Kyle Gretsch is just heading back into pit lane. He's got a little bit of damage on the left-hand front of that car, so he's going in to get that repaired. And Nicholas Schmallenberg has believe jumped out of the race as well. So Brett Douglas, as we said, making his way back up the field. Next in line for him, Phil Polito, just down the road. And he's got a little bit of work to do to catch up to Matty Dexter. He's lapping at a 2:01.94, however, Douglas, and he is lapping faster than just about everyone between himself and the back of the GTEs. Oh, Glaudo, good to see you back on the stream, mate. Hope everything is well. Jump on board with Tomo. Second. Lofty's up into third as well. So, drivers doing well. Unfortunately, Nick is out of the race at this stage, I believe, so decided to pull the pin. Good to see. Yellow, orange, red and black livery back out on track for another season of AEE GT3 Endurance Racing, the Australian Endurance E-Championship. Got to mention as well, AJ Insurance Services joining us on the stream as partners this season. Streaming partners, that is, so get coverage across all of our events that we are fortunate enough to bring to. Some big additional coverage coming to our channel, but more about that on Sunday night, on Monday. Certainly pleased to be back with the series that started it all for us, the Australian Endurance E-Championship, and welcome to AJ Insurance Services for another year. We've got AFTERSHOCK PC, your sim, your rig, your choice, joining us too. Thank them for their support from day one on the stream, and of course Chris Purnell and the team at Virtual Motorsport Mentor back for another year as well. So we've got the crew back together, and so far so good. Can't believe we're only 25 minutes into this one. There's been plenty to talk about. Braden Nash currently leading things, about a minute up on the only other, unfortunately, Delara that we had enter tonight, which is Ash McClurkin. I'd certainly like to see more out there on track. So we'll do some work on that between races. It's a difficult track, it's a difficult car to set up. So not for the faint-hearted to get on board with. Particularly as you can see there, we've got GT3, GTE and LMP2 as Reece Ashmore just makes way there to let those faster cars through. So far, only 2 casualties in the race. Testament to the quality of the drivers, really. So Matty Bowler currently leading in the GTEs. Dominant win for them last week with a 1-2-3 in the feature race at Silverstone. Some notification that Shannon McMillan's had a crash. In fact, he has been aborted back to pit lane. So let's jump back and have a quick look at that one. So potentially getting a slide on into turn 2. And just getting a little too much curb there. Oh, geez, I can tell you what, very, very close for Braden Nash. Or in fact, Nash has copped some damage there as well. And he will be having to get that repaired, no doubt, when he does go into pit lane for pit stop. Just have a look and see if we can pick up any real damage on the back corner of that car. Yeah, there is a little bit of damage there. That'll get fixed as part of the pit stop. Keep an eye on speeds for him, see if that affects him at all. Top speed of that one around about 300 k's an hour. You can see speeds of up to 310 k's an hour down Conrod. So Braden will be thinking his lucky stars that that didn't turn out worse. And in fact, he's dropping into pit lane now. I'd say he's going to get that repair done very quickly. And then head back out on track. You can see a reasonable amount of damage to the right-hand rear corner of that car. He's got a gap about 1:10 over Ash McClurkin, and he probably thinks he might be able to manage his fuel to the end of this race. Albeit, it could also be fuel related. The tank on that P217 a lot smaller than you might think. So he'll get that repaired. Let's see what he does here. Repairs completed. He's fueling it up. And maybe a little difficult for them to make it to the end if they're having to pit now. They might have to pit 2 or 3 times. In fact, probably twice to make it to the end of the race. So we'll jump back out here and jump on board with the leader of the GT3 category. Keep an eye on Ash McClurkin as well, because if he's pitting at the same time, then we know that is the case. Nashia taking tyres as well. So Matt Bowler 17 seconds over Jeff Thomas in second place. Martin Lofthouse further 11 seconds behind that. As well, we have had Jason Vincent Muscat. He's moved up another position over Timothy Russell outright into 7th. He's now chasing down Brock Schaefer about 15 seconds up the road, so he's got a little bit of time before he's going to incur some additional traffic. Benny Broom there, still nice and consistent as well in the Redback Race Team entry, sponsored by Bow Repairs. He's just got Brendan Jenner just behind him. Another new driver to the NSR stable. The NSR stable continues to grow and grow. So Reece Ashmore's catching Matthew McMillan. Matty McMillan running the Ferrari. There's Sebastian Murray Westberg there. Looks like he may have had an off. Quickly check in on that one as well. It's pit stop being taken by Matthew McMillan. Reece Ashmore moves up another position. We can have a quick look at this one. This is interesting. So he's just over-rotated the car there. And he didn't jump back into pit lane at all, actually, which is good. It just showed us that because of the fact that he crossed the pit lane entry there. So he's now well and truly back in the crosshairs of Jaden Sweeney. Really working hard to re-establish that gap that he managed to put together. Lamborghini working hard, just trying to pull it up. Fantastic sounding and looking hard. A lot of the drivers favouring running GT3 this year. The iRacing Endurance calendar actually favours it, so today new release from iRacing, an update was brought to the table. Introduced a much more open GT3 competition that they're running, just to cater to that demand. They did have a fixed Ferrari GT3 series with a 488 GT3, but the Lamborghini and BMW, very, very popular additions to the GT3 category, and in fact there is rumour that the 911R GT3 will be released in the next update, which is around about 13 weeks away. we're certainly keen for that as well. The RSR Porsche, very, very popular. I think that'll be a fantastic addition for iRacing to bring to the table. So you can see on the map there, things just spread out nicely now. This battle here, further apart. Reece Ashmore now into some clear air as well. He's got Matt Dexter around about 4 seconds behind him, different category. You can see him there just coming up in the background in the RSR. So Cam James is next in class competition. Battle between Ron Polito and Neil Yates has stabilised as well, around about 2 seconds. Ron's about 2 seconds behind Geordie Malcolm, who's currently running in 6th, or 6th even. And really, Brock Schaefer, Tim Russell, the only ones running currently in that GT3, GTE mix-up. Everyone else has sort of filtered their way through. Last time around, the laps between Ron Polito and Jordan Malcolm around about a second difference, so Ron Polito's pulled a fair bit of time out of Jordan Malcolm there. Potentially some traffic cause for that. So Matt Boulder's just gone off track there, just through the chase. No harm done, gets straight back out on track, just behind Matt Dexter. Apologies, I believe that's actually Matt McMillan. Shannon McMillan, we'll get there eventually. The liveries on those two cars are very similar. And Matt continues 16 seconds in front of Jeff Thomas. Probably pitting. There's a car, looks like a car that's expired in pit lane. Yeah, that's Matt McMillan. That Lamborghini is toast. So that looks like it is night over, potentially, for that car. Braden Nash has reopened a 13-second lead at the moment. Ash McQuirkin on the second. Slow moving Porsche on the inside there. Ash running a pretty smooth race so far tonight. The chap just getting the 217 through this without incident. So far doing a good job of it. Just being nice and smooth and consistent. And a little bit patient as the need arises, as it does on his way down the mountain here. Not a great deal he can do. He will absolutely eat that Lamborghini up on Conrod. Lamborghini moves to the side, hopefully, and he does. And Ash will make his way past. It's that one. It's going to make its way up to 310 k's an hour. It's a fantastic piece of gear. Looking so late. Just pulling it up there. Making his way through the chase almost with ease. On to another lap. Just right on board with him for a lap here. Just have a look at this thing as it heads up the mountain. to the right, Ash. Blast. That car looks relatively easy, but I imagine it's not. It's the car off on the inside of the track there. Looks like it had run out of gas. I think that may well be Kyle Gretsch potentially. So we've got on board here with Matt McMillan. He's trying to chase down Shannon McMillan. Check back in with Brett Douglas. So he's made his way back up. 8th in class, 22nd outright. Good effort from Brett. Very experienced campaign. But he's got plenty of time. He's only about 7 seconds away. It's 7 seconds away from Matt Dexter and Julian Lamasina, who are up in front of him. Next in class, so he will be looking to tidy them up pretty quickly thereafter, and then unfortunately for Brett, back into the pack of GT3s. The gap between Brock Schaefer and Jason Muscat's closing. In fact, Jason closing in on Martin Lofthouse as well. That gap down to 11 seconds, so he's trying to make his way up the front. Ash McQuirkins jumped into pit lane. So, not quite making the hour mark in the Dallara. But he'll take 4 tyres and fuel that up. He'll have to manage his fuel a little bit to the end. It surprised me, in fact, Braden Nash is already doing that. So, notification here. We'll just jump back quickly and have a look at that. Oh, he's had a big slide. He's hung that up on the wall. He has hung that one up on the wall. So that is going to require a tow back to the pits and a reasonable repair there. He'll be able to fuel that up and run it to the end though by the time he gets back. And that all happens. So we'll get back live. Matt Bowler at the front of the GTE pack. So this GTE field's going to close up towards the end of this race. It's going to make for quite an interesting finish. The innocent benefit of the gridding being in reverse. So look forward to that. Pit stop should sort that out as well. Looks like Matty Broom's going to make his way past Tim Russell as well to sort that GT3 GTE mismatch out. Just get notification there that Cam James has had an incident as well. So just about that. Another driver, so he's just got caught out. Entry speed in there, and he's actually done really well. Not to cause a pile up. He's not going to be happy with that. Probably could have turned it around, but Valor better part. Caution the better part of Valor, I should say. And he's managed to just get that one back to the pits. Jump back on board now with Geordie Malcolm, who's got Ron Polito caught up to him, give him the hurry along. So a few of these battles developing throughout the pack. We are going to head into pit stop territory very shortly, particularly with only 45 minutes in. A lot of the drivers will be able to fuel up from the hour mark and run these cars to the end. So it opens up a little bit of a strategy choice for them. They can run deep in, they can run another 40, probably another 15 minutes in to this race. And make it to the end those Dalaras will definitely have to stop again. Unless they are extraordinary at managing fuel. They need to manage, in the case of Ash McClurkin, another 15 minutes of fuel out of the tank. That's probably almost impossible, one would say. Braden Nash definitely is having to stop again, stopping on lap 15. As Matthew Broom does get the job done on his teammate Tim Russell. Jason Muscat is right up now behind Brock Schaefer. Now out of the back of Schaefer's car as Muscat comes down through the dipper. Trying to chase him down. If you wanted to try and be a little closer than this, coming down at Forest Elbow. Yeah, big lock up there from Muscat, and he goes wide and clips the wall. So at the hour mark, he's gone wide and clipped the wall. That may well play out his pit strategy. Depending on how bad the damage is there. Oh, it's not too bad at all, actually, on that right-hand front wheel. So not going to have to jump into the pit lane to get that repaired. One might feel counting his lucky stars there as we cross the hour mark to go here at Bathurst for FGM eCast. And the GT Enduro series as Ash McClurkin comes up behind the Muscat Porsche. And he will eat him up the straight, up pit straight here. Down into turn one, he's got plenty of time. He's a little bit cautious there. There's a Lamborghini rejoining the track. Looks like one of the McMillan boys. As Schaefer gives the light flash. All the way through. And let's go here again, closing up behind him. You can see all the rubber all over the track already. Just 45 in. Just trying to pick the spot to get the job done here. Move himself up. To fifth out, sixth outright, I should say. Schaefer doing an excellent job. In the GT3 shows you how quick he is as a driver. Sometimes quicker than some of the GTE drivers in that GT3 BMW. Musco there gets a little bit squirrely again. Porsche unsettled a bit through that section of the mountain. Looking for a much better exit this time. Little lock up there again. He's kept it clean of the wall. Schaefer with a good exit as well as they head down the straight. Conrod straight, I should say. Maybe out wide here for the chase. You see him cross the line there. Right behind them there is, wow, flying through comes Braden Nash. Just that Dalara. Oh, I think he's bumped into his teammate there. He's gone off track. Very, very close to hitting the wall. So that will not be his preferred outcome from that situation. Musco grabs some inside curb there. And here comes the Dalara back up the inside. He's going to try and get through. And he will. You'll just see him there take over and move on past. On the team radio is probably saying, what happened there? Now, he's going to try to get the job done on the inside. You can see the tone difference in that Porsche. He's able to run a little bit further under brakes there. Get through Nash. So, a close instance there for both those drivers. Nash ended up going off track, almost clipping the pit wall with a tyre barrier just before the entrance into pit lane. But no damage done. And it is now Muscat who's on the charge, trying to catch Martin Lofthouse and move himself up onto the podium. At this stage, Matt Bowler 23 seconds to the good ahead of Jeff Thomas. So it is M8, M8, M8. Bowler, Thomas and Lofthouse. JWM boys doing a good job two of the top three positions at the moment. But Muscat for Crank Esports, he's going to be looking to try and address that as he comes up again on Reece Ashmore. Brett Douglas making fantastic progress back through the field. Currently just a second off Matt Dexter, and he is choosing to pit now, and he will be able to run that car to the end, perhaps deciding to come in early, try and do the crossover in pit lane. So keep an eye out for Musco. He's gone around again. He's got Reece Ashmore just in front of him. Just now on board with nearly eights. So he's making his way around in his return to the Australian Endurance Championship GT Enduro Series, driving for NSR as well. Very well represented team in the category. Currently sitting in 7th position in Class 14th outright. 2 seconds adrift of Ron Polito in front of him of Polito Brothers Motorsport. He's got a fairly healthy gap of 14 seconds back to Sebastian Murray-Wesberg behind him and Jaden Sweeney. So he's in a good spot at the moment as we are in the pit window. Don't expect too many of these cars to take tyres. Tyres here done separately to the fueling, so they may save some time. There we did see the Dallara of Braden Nash take tyres. Assume as well that Ash McClurkin took tyres, given the pit lane duration. About a minute 12 for the transition. In the box for 15 seconds less though, so perhaps not taking tyres. See how that plays out for him. He's run a pretty consistent race so far. The battle here between Jordan Malcolm and Ron Polito continues. The artist, thanks for your support, Polito. Well, he's on screen at the moment. He's doing a good job of keeping Jordan Malcolm honest. Braden Nash just put in a 49.52 fastest lap of the race. Let's give you some relative there. Fastest lap of the GT3s is a 58.92, so nearly, almost exactly 9 seconds adrift of the LMP2s, and a 2:03.13. Sorry, 2:02.75 is the fastest lap of Brock Schaefer in the GT3s. So about 4 seconds difference between those two classes. We're just on board with Jordan Malcolm still running 5th. Braden Nash apparently has just run off track as well. Oh no, and he's... Unfortunately, Matt McMillan there looks like he's got in the way. Speed difference in that LMP2 car is significant. Probably thought he had some room to get through there. I'm sure Race Control will have a look at that one. But that LMP2 car, Braden Nash copying a little bit of damage. Let's go back and have a quick look at that where we can. See what's happened there. So across the top of the mountain. Oh wow. He's got extremely lucky. He's run that one across the wall. I think he probably didn't see McMillan there in the Lambo, and then he's just, there's not enough room there at all for him to get through. McMillan just probably not quite aware that he's come back onto the track on that inside line, and very, very lucky indeed to get that one through. I'm just going to take that back. Take that back a few frames and just have a look at that. And you can see he has just clipped the wall there. And then when he comes back onto the track, there's just not enough room. He's going way too quick there. And McMillan just hasn't seen him at all. Almost had nowhere to go. So very lucky to still be in the race after that damage. Braden Nash, he has jumped into pit lane. He'll get those repairs carried out. He'll get new tyres, get that thing fueled up, and he'll get back out there again. Just that pace differential, it is the trick. It's the thing that can trip people over. And Shannon McMillan back out on track. Matt McMillan has is on his way out now. With that Lamborghini repaired. Mostly repaired. So only a little bit of damage to that car. We'll be a little bit disappointed there. Not too much that either party could have done about it though, so I'm sure that will be reviewed a little bit later on. Ash Birkin, it says, came off track as well, down into the last corner. So a few mistakes starting to be made here with just under 50 minutes to go. Drivers are probably getting a little bit tired. An hour-long stint doesn't sound like a lot when you're driving around in a race car, but it's very taxing around this place. You really only get one good break, which is down Conrod. Getting back on board here with Jaden Sweeney. Carbon fibre Lamborghini. It's not black. It's a trait of Jaden. All his cars have carbon fibre on them somewhere. This one is completely carbon fibre. And this battle has developed. We've got Brendan Jenner and Michael Spithill. Battle of the brands, BMW and Lamborghini. Braden Nash has gone flying past him. So keep an eye on this battle for the minute. Really looking for that next round of pit stops. Rick Douglas at the moment after his pit stop down in 19th. 7th outright in class at the moment as Michael Spithill jumps into pit lane. So first of our GT3 drivers to blink. So I'd be very surprised if he takes tyres. Just going to have a watch here. He will definitely refuel that car to the end, so he will not require another stop. Expecting another stop from our Dallara. Neil Yates enters pit lane as well. So keep an eye here for the car to go up in the air. It does fuel separately to getting the tyres changed. So Matthew McMillan comes into the pit lane. Phil Polito into pit lane. We've got Sebastian Murray-Westberg in now. So it looks like this is around about that time for these drivers to get it done. 45 minutes. Remaining will show an hour of racing done. And that's about as much as you'll get out of one of these for a tank. Imagine though that not necessary to get tyres, and in fact it's not. We did start early in the morning, so the cool track temperatures means no tyre change required. Pit lane here starting to fill up. Sebastian Murray-Westberg there on screen. Behind him Neil Yates as well. Phil Polito behind him. So these are stops that will get these cars to the end. So Brock Schaefer still out there, still going, so he's going to head round for a few more laps before he jumps in for his stop. So Michael Spithill out back on track now. Looking as well to see it the first of our GTE drivers from the leading pack to jump into pit lane. This stage, Braden Nash, it says, has crashed. He has indeed, on pit straight. So, jump back and have a look at how that's happened. I see he's just got two on it. Out of the last corner. Oh, he's grabbed a lot of curb there. It sent him wide and out onto the grass. He's just managed to save that with ever so slight a bump into pit wall. So again, not a lot of damage done. But tell you what, if he keeps making errors, it's every chance Ash McClure can come right back into the mix here. It's only 20 seconds down. It's been very, very consistent so far tonight. Very clean car, so we will see how this one plays out. Still waiting for the lead GT E-Pack to make their stops. And the fact that the lead GT3 driver too, Brock Schaefer, yet to make his pit stop. Fastest still on the track, 2:02.54 last around, fastest lap of the race. So that thing is going to be on low fuel. And in fact it is this lap that Schaefer takes it into pit lane, just on almost on the dot of 45 minutes to go. Jaden Sweeney also jumping into pit lane. He is refueling that car as we speak. So still a list of drivers yet to make their way through. Reece Ashmore not yet done his pit stop. Tim Russell, Brendan Jenner, Jordan Malcolm also yet to make their stops. Jason Muscat's jumped into pit lane in his GTE entry. The M8 and Matt Bowler still out on track. Jeff Thomas, Martin Lofthouse and Matty Broom. So they're still circulating. As Braden Nash goes back past Matt Bowler in the GTE. Tim Russell now jumps into pit lane in the Beamer. Brendan Jenner, really good start from him in fact. Nice quiet, I haven't mentioned him too much, he's just been getting the job done. And Jordan Malcolm just making his way up over the crest of pit lane as well. So that will be the entirety of the GTE field, GT3 field through as Reece Ashmore makes his way out of pit lane. So how does this leave things? Schaefer 34 seconds to the good over Timothy Russell. He's going to have a fair gap over Brendan Jenner, who's just leaving pit lane now in third position. Michael Spithill is going to be right on his tail, so he's going to have to get a wriggle on. Spithill with warmer tyres. He's got Julian Lamasina behind him, currently in sixth position. Julian will have to stop again, however. Jordan Malcolm on his way out, so got about 37 seconds covering places 2 through 5 in the GT3 category. Martin Lofthouse, Matty Broom in pit lane now, Matt Bowler in pit lane now for NSR. Tomo coming down the straight, so see if he jumps into pit lane this time around. I imagine he will. I'm looking for it really though now is the gaps between as a consequence of the pit stops. A lot of time to be made up in pit lane as Tomo jumps in. So Bowler is doing his stop, see if he takes tyres or not. May not need to. So it's starting quite early in the morning here. So now track temperatures just starting to increase, not taking tyres as well. So those LMP2 cars needing to take tyres, they will have to fuel again. So watch for another stop from those drivers. As Tomo gets done, Lofthouse on his way back down the mountain. He's got Muscat about 16 seconds behind him. He was catching him before the tranche of pit stops. So that battle will develop in the next 40 minutes. That's going to be a close finish there. The other one that's going to be a close finish is the battle in the GT3 category Number of close arguments happening in the lead up to pit stops, and they will continue beyond the pit stop window, you would imagine. So Neil Yates, he's got Sebastian Murray-Westberg closing in on him. About a second and a half between them. Brett Douglas is trying to make his way back up through the field. He's lapping much quicker than the cars in between, where he is currently in 17th. Jaden Sweeney, he was right on the back of Murray-Westberg, but he has lost some time in the pit lane. Not sure what's happened there. He might have got a stop-go penalty, in fact, because he spent a lot longer in pit lane than anyone else by a fair margin. Reece Ashmore. Currently in 10th in class, so he has got an opportunity as well where he might be able to make up a few places. And just one of the other GT3 drivers just going down the outside there for him. It's a drag race down the straight, and he's just made way there. So that may well be the wise move. Pick up there some sort of stuff on the side of Ashmore's car in terms of the livery. There's Braden Nash out right at the moment. It's not been without issue though. This Lamborghini's given him trouble a couple of times actually, so he's just made his way around there and got the job done without having to head off track though. The speed difference can cause issue. Ash McQuirkin, when he's making his way past Vincent Muscat, who's currently 6th outright. So our race leaders back up to 6th position already in terms of lap traffic. But they are lapping significantly quicker in the low minute 50s. Got Phil Polito there on the inside. In fact, that might be Rez Polito, my apologies. Just keeping to the left while the faster cars made their way through. Jason and Vincent Muscat will make his space. And Ash Burkin. Oh, in fact, he's over-rotated McCullough and he's put it into the wall. So that is very disappointing. He'll be kicking himself for that. He'll get that back out. It's just a little bit of damage to the front there. He's going to have to stop again anyway, probably in about 8 minutes. So he will be able to nurse it through. Looking, that doesn't look like the damage is too bad on the front of that car, and he will be able to nurse that one through to the first, or his last pit stop, I should say. It's telling us there's another car there. Oh, and it says Michael Spithill has had a crash, and he has indeed. It's just on his relative there trying to get the car turned around without impacting anyone else's race. And there's a huge group of traffic coming through. He's going to have to be careful. He does get that rejoin. So just a little bit of damage to the front of that car. Again, he'll be kicking himself. Very, very competitive driver. As well, it's just telling us that Sebastian Murray-Westberg went off track there, doing a good job to hold that together as well. So again, just starting to see a few mistakes through from guys that we're not used to seeing them from. So Sebastian Murray-Westberg probably pushing to try and catch up to Neil Yates in front of him. The gap's been pretty consistent the whole way through. Martin Lofthouse currently in third position. He's got an 18-second margin over Vincent Muscat behind him. They've been pretty much on pace with one another as well, so gap not closing. Thompson front down in the 201s and Matty Bowler into the 59, so things have stabilised a little bit at the front here for them. Timothy Russell currently second in the GT3 class, 39 seconds behind Brock Schaefer, but he's got Brendan Jenner lapping a little bit quicker than him behind him. Ron Polito equally is lapping quicker than Jordan Malcolm as well, so watch for him to catch up onto the back of Jordan Malcolm as we get into the closing stages. The closest battle at the moment on track is Neil Yates and Sebastian Murray-Westberg, so we'll stick on board here with them. Got Brett Douglas behind him, and he's also got Ash McClurkin coming through. So Murray Westberg with a little bit of traffic to deal with here. So no doubt Douglas will make a pass on him down into the final corner. May end up being turn one, in fact. Douglas will get on the chase to catch Neil Yates. Looks like Vincent Muscat's coming through as well. Speed differential between the two cars is mainly on the straights. Off the top of the mountain, grip levels reasonably similar. Not exactly the same, but reasonably similar. Not enough for a track like this to create enough speed difference to be able to get a passing move done. So really here, just biding time, want to make sure that on Forest Elbow you get the best run you can out of it onto Conrod, so that you well and truly pass the car that you need to get by the time you get to the chase. A little bit of a lock up there for Muscat. Big lock up there. Someone, I didn't quite pick up who that was. Douglas or Yates. Yates moving to the inside. Likewise, Murray Westberg moving to the inside. Douglas gets the job done, so he's now back up into 14th outright. 7th overall. You notice here that Reece Ashmore has gone off track. Oh, he's grabbed the dirt, trying to do the right thing. He's just moved over too far, unfortunately, and he has hung that Lamborghini on the wall. There's nothing he can do about it from there, unfortunately. He knew exactly what he did. He'll be disappointed. And now into this one. Sorry, now 15 even into this one. It's disappointing, Pie for Bob. I'm not sure if you're following on for Reece Ashmore there, but just park that one on the wall. So he'll get that repaired, he'll get back out there, I'm assuming, and finish the race. Take too long for that to happen. He'll have to get that car towed, repaired, and get back out there. Broom coming up on the back of Brock Schaefer. Up for outright position, these two. 7th and 8th. Still in the lead of that class. Brock just making way there. Jumping forward, Martin Lofthouse. Here for Nick in the crowd. Sorry, it didn't go your way, Nick. Thanks for joining us on the stream anyway. Lofty currently in third. He's 34 behind Tomo in second, and he's got a good gap, 21 over Vincent Muscat in fourth. Doing a good job. Consistent tonight. Of course, the JWM boys were always that last season. Saw that from them race after race, particularly once they jumped into the big M8. Always there or thereabouts. Consistency in these enduros is key. It's always the case that first to finish first you got to finish. But I found, particularly as well with Rez Polito as well, as Rez Ashmore rejoins the race. Particularly with Ron Polito, especially, he just continued to pull consistent result after result last season. And it got him a good finish. So down into the chase. It's going to P2 car so strong through there. Pace and brakes. It's Brett Douglas in the background makes up another position on Ron Polito, so he's now 13th outright. It's Julian Lamasina now in pit lane, taking his final stop. Now expecting to see those two LMP2 cars as well at the front jump into pit lane. Grace Ashmore there, back out on front. See Ashley Clerk coming through as well as we continue with Martin Lofthouse. We might jump on board with him, let him take us for a run around this famous track. Jump on board now with Martin Lofthouse. On board the M8 BMW. Thanks Lofty for taking us for the run around the mountain in the car we affectionately labelled Big Bertha last year. Very, very wide. circles. See plenty of memes of it over and large, trying to follow, bear down on cars in front as Ash McClurkin jumps in for his final stop. Just fuel, no tyres, and out he goes. Interestingly enough, Neil Yates jumping into pit lane. A little bit of damage on the front of that car. In fact, there's a bit of smoke coming out of it too, so he has had a big lose somewhere across the mountain. He'll get that one in though. That'll get fixed up straight away and he will get back on his way. It's disappointing. He was having a good run, Neil. So I'll watch the magic of the internet fix that one, and straight away off he goes again with a brand new front on that car. So we do restrict the number of free repairs the cars get. And unfortunately for him, he has had to use one even. Which is starting to fail me. Get a little bit later on in the race. Tell you what, who is on the back of Jordan Malcolm now is Brett Douglas. So he continues his charge up the field. Top 10, not out of the realms of possibility for Brett, which would be a fantastic comeback. As he gets that Porsche turned in, he'll make his way past Jordan Malcolm. And Julian Lamasina is next on his list. Jordan currently sitting 4th in class. Top 3 so far. Brock Schaefer has dominated the race from a GT3 perspective. And he actually did extremely well, sitting up in as high as 5th position outright. For the majority of the race, you've got Tim Russell behind him. Brendan Jenner behind him. Welcome to the series. Brendan has said quietly achieving tonight. We haven't said too much about Brendan running in the NSR team. Another one joining their stable. And he's done a great job. He's in 3rd at the moment. Braden Nash jumped into pit lane to do his final stop. He will just get that fueled up. Get back out there again. Jump back on board with Brendan Jenner. Have a look inside, the difference between the M8, so even there in terms of the view, we'll jump back into cockpit view there. You can see it's a lot more reserved on the inside of this one in comparison to the M8. Just the Bosch dash there, the steering wheel, interestingly enough, it says Fanatec on that, I haven't seen that before. GT3 cars, great things to drive in iRacing. For the close battles, those of you following the fortunes of the Politos, there's a battle of the teammates going on at the moment with Phil and Rez. This is for position between them, currently running 11th and 12th in class. Rez with a 2:06.7, Phil with about the same, so maintaining pace between the two Polito Brothers racing cars there. You can see that in the background, that is our race leader, Braden Nash, who will make very, very quick work of the GT3s. Rez just pulling over to the inside there to make way. Phil doing the same. speed differential between that LMP2 and these GT3s. So good work between them to get that done cleanly. Nearly Yates back out on track after his earlier incident. Michael Spithill doing a great job in the Lamborghini, up to 6th. And in terms of class battles, Jordan Malcolm, he's in 4th. Ron Polito trying to chase him down. Brett Douglas currently 11 seconds behind Julian Lamasina. He will be pumping it out to try and make sure that he catches him. It's 20 minutes to go, so we're looking at around about 10 laps. And Brett Douglas currently lapping around about 3 seconds a lap faster than Lamasina. So there, Douglas down into the final corner. Lamasina just starting his climb up the mountain. So that positional battle will be on very, very shortly. Some really good camera angles in these camera packs that we've got. And also to bring you the coverage. Yeah. The Vat Supercars were at Bathurst 2 weekends ago. Festival of Speed there in Easter as well, just right out wide there. Nash McClurkin coming through behind. We'll have all the drivers on after the broadcast for post-race interviews. One of the challenges would definitely have been the speed difference and of course that accidental grid issue. Where we did have the GT3s starting in front of the GTEs. I'm still not entirely sure how that's happened. It will be to do with grid strength, but I'll sort that out between now and a fortnight's time. We'll see McClurkin getting real wide there as he needs to. Absolutely eating up the NSR Porsche of Lamasina. The gap between himself and Douglas has stabilised a little bit now, just under 10 seconds apart. Someone there down on the inside of the track, just trying to pick that up, smoking away. Not sure who that was. So maybe it might have been Ron Polito. So he is 3 seconds away from Jordan Malcolm. This battle might close up. Polito lapping a little faster than Malcolm at the moment. Whether that was something to do with traffic, I didn't see. I'll just keep an eye on this battle for the minute. It's been close all night between the two of them. Lap pace wise, fastest laps between them, only 0.2 apart. Board with the helicopter view there, out of the grate, up over Brock Skyline, down through the dipper. Forest Elbow out onto Conrod. Good run out of there, make all the difference. It was Braden Nash there, just coming down. Looks like Matt Bowler, he might have just gone past him in the background. So 15 minutes to go here. Round 1, FGM eCast GT Enduro Series. Thanks to AJ Insurance Services, Virtual Motorsport Mentor, and AFTERSHOCK PC, your rig, your choice. So if you're in the market for an insurance broker, help you with your business or with your personal insurance, AJ Insurance Services, AJ Daily. Definitely the man to go and see. Heavily involved in the iRacing fraternity as well. And his brand supporting a number of series, so we certainly appreciate you supporting the businesses that support our stream, make all of this possible. Because without them, it would make it very difficult for us to get what we get in front of you. So AJ Insurance Services, based out of New South Wales. So if you're a New South Wales local, give them a call. Jump out, have a look at their Facebook page or on their website, and reach out to Joe and his team, who will be able to help you out. And that AFTERSHOCK, your rig, your choice, our preferred PC partner. Certainly the broadcast we're bringing to you tonight is on one of their high-end rigs. In fact, we have a couple of them across the media company that supports this stream. And I know a couple of the drivers out there tonight are using them as well. So popular for building high quality PCs, custom building too. So do reach out to Ryan and his crew, and we'll be able to put something together for you. I know they've got plenty of the 3080, 3070 graphics cards, I should say, in stock. So give them a call and see what they can do for you. The Virtual Motorsport Mentor, Chris Purnell and his team, the place to go if you're looking to go fast. Even Serena Williams has a tennis coach, which is just about the best there's ever been in that sport. So reach out if you're looking to go faster, if you're just looking for more consistent driving, looking to get your gear set up properly. Chris Purnell can help you. Team Virtual Motorsport Mentor will be able to give you some one-on-one coaching. They do group classes as well. And currently his team, Crank Esports, dominating in Ant's car, the oval track stuff as well. Brett Douglas, Jason Muscat of that team as well. So plenty of experience, able to help you improve your driving and improve your racecraft. So jump again onto his Facebook page, Virtual Motorsport Mentor, or the website, virtualmotorsportmentor.com, and they book a lesson and help yourself get faster. Just really there, just flashing on screen. So it looks like Brendan Jenner is currently running third. He's going to soon be under threat from Brett Douglas, who will make up another position. Won't quite make his way into the top 10. To predict he'd get close. And he's very, very consistent and quick. Bowler has dominated the GTE race, basically led from the start. And has made it look relatively easy in this R-team. Very, very good at putting together quick cars, but equally driven very, very well. Stage they will take out each class, actually the LMP2 Braden Nash, GTE with Nick Bowler, Schaefer looks like he's going to take out the GT3s. Does look like it's going to be JWM second and third with Jeff Thomas and Martin Lofthouse, but there is 10 minutes to go, still anything can happen. Douglas has made his way up into 11th. He's got a gap 7 seconds out to Julian Lamasina now, so they're down towards the chase, into the chase, and Douglas is just coming into the chase himself. So there's 8 seconds there, so that may develop into something. Keep an eye on that over the next few minutes. Jordan Malcolm and Polito back fighting again, as we expected would happen. So there is currently less than a second between them. As there has been all night, so it's been good clean racing between the two of them. Spithill a little bit further back, Murray Wesberg behind him. Neil Yates, unfortunately, a late incident. Further back, Jaden Sweeney, Hayden Carroll, Phil and Rez Polito, Cam James, Reece Ashmore, Shannon McMillan and Matt McMillan. Rounding out the cars still involved here. Only 4 cars not finishing so far tonight. Which is a good finish rate, particularly given the early issues with the gridding up. It's got very, very close now between Malcolm and Polito as they make their way down the mountain. In fact, looks like that might be Brock Schaefer behind them as well. So Schaefer, BMW. Polito making away. Jordan Malcolm doing the same. And 3 drivers getting through there. No issues at all. As Brock Schaefer goes a lap up. Both Jordan and Ron. Continue to fight it out for the next 7 minutes or so, depending on when our race leader heads across the start finish line. It's looking like being a close race to the end for these two. Keep an eye on our battle between Douglas and Anderson as well. Down to 5 seconds. Douglas's car finishing strong. Polito right up on the back of Geordie here. Should have pulled the nose off Polito's car as they head across the top of the mountain. Biding his time, so not what we can do here. The 2 cars obviously the same, so there's a clip the wall there on his way down the mountain. No damage done though. Going to be looking to get the car well positioned here to get a good run out down onto Conrod. Hopefully close the gap up. He's in the draft, so he should be able to make some room here. See if he's actually able to go past Jordan Malcolm here down into the braking zone. And he is going to try and get it done. So they go side by side down through the chase. Malcolm defends well. He's going to try and get the crisscross done. Is he, Ron? He's not quite able to get there. They're going to battle down into the final corner. So try and get him under brakes here. Again, not quite able to get it done. Jordan Malcolm's gone pretty deep there, but able to defend. Michael Spithill's gone off track in the background. This battle continues. Jordan Malcolm defending very well here. Again, Polito will be hoping that he can get a run on up the straight here as we look out the back of Jordan Malcolm's car. That Ron Polito trying to chase him up the mountain. Still in the draft, so he should get some advantage here as they head down into turn 2. Not close enough to get anything done, so he has to keep the run on. They head up across the top of the mountain, and they're thinking where and we're going to be able to get this done. This next available opportunity really is until it's down into the cutting and right up behind him here. He's doing a great job. Good run up the mountain there. Good grip in the Polito car. Against Geordie. So go through the grate and head up across into Skyline. Ron just gets a little wide there, clips the curb. Equally so does Geordie, just uses the curb to catch the car as they head to run into the run down the mountain. Coming through the dipper. Ron want to close the gap up before they head down to Conrod Straight. 3:52 left in this one. Going to clip of the wall there again for Ron Polito, but it's closed right up. He needs to get a good run out. He's got a great run out, in fact. Out down onto Conrod Straight. He's going to be right there when he needs to be there. He'll jump on front again with Ron Polito. He's going to try and go down the inside, I imagine, of Jordy Malcolm here. Jordy closes the gate. We'll see if he can get it down into the braking zone. Polito gets it done. He's going to try the crisscross. Jordy's not able to get there, and Ron Polito closes the gate. Fantastic racing from these two. Jordy's not done yet though. He's going to try and have a look back down into the final corner. Ron has got the run. Fair to say, I think his tyres on his car slightly better, which is interesting because he did pit 4 laps earlier than Jordan Malcolm. Both cars taking tyres. In the meantime, however, we have got notification that Julian Lamasina's had an incident. Let's have a look at that one. Climb up the mountain. And he's just got loose heading into turn 4 and he's just bailed straight away. His everyone's done a really good job to get around him. But unfortunately that one there is a little second hand. For the moment that moves Brett Douglas up into 10th position. Great comeback drive from him. Tim Russell a fair way in front of him. This battle here continues. Just out to nearly a second now though between Polito and Malcolm. That was a fairly intense battle going on in the background there, and in fact there was between Hayden Carroll and Jaden Sweeney. So we'll keep an eye on this one now, down to half a second between the two GT3 drivers, currently running 9th and 10th in class respectively. So 1:38 to go here. Carroll and Sweeney, two cars will have different strengths around the track. Both will be on lower fuel loads now. So we'll see if this closes up. I'll tell you, Jordan Malcolm and the battle has stretched now out to over a second. So that battle not necessarily over. Looking a little more difficult for Jordan Malcolm to get that position back. Gap here between Carroll and Sweeney is stretching as well. So now 2.6 seconds. So Ron Polito looks like he's tied up 4th place. GT3s. So 39 seconds to go. Let's jump on board with Braden Nash. He's on his way up the mountain. So this will be the final lap of the race. Yes, the artist, yes, Ron, getting it done. So he's moved up into 4th position. Good drive from him, as we expect. Solid all night. So this will be the final lap. What's been a really interesting start to the season here. There's going to be plenty of close battles throughout the season. Need to get a few more drivers into these LMP2 cars though. Give Ash and Braden Nash some challenge. There's Nash, Schaefer and Ashmore again in that speed differential test. It is going to be Braden Nash who's going to be at home. Brock Schaefer's gone off track in the background in a big way. So I'm not too sure what's happened there. As Ashmore goes down the inside, he's going to end up doing another lap. Looks like the NSR boys wanting to do a form finish. Of course, I think Schaefer might have gone across the line first there, so he'll have to actually do another lap. But congratulations to Braden Nash on taking out the very first LMP2 win of not only the season, but of this category. Ripping drive from him. He's finished nearly a minute 50 in front of Ash McClurkin. Really solid drive from Ash as well. So Matt Bowler's going to come through now, and he's going to take the win for NSR in the GTE category. So another really solid night from him. The car looks mint condition, the way that it's left the dealership floor. So he's done a good job as well. He's finished a lap, almost half a lap up on his nearest competitor, which is Tomo in the JWM M8 BMW. And Martin Lofthouse is going to join him as well. So we've got Brock Schaefer. Tim Russell, not sure what's happened there to him. He's obviously crossed the start-finish line to finish his race, along with Brendan Jenner. So the final few cars just coming through now. Is actually an NSR 1 and 3. With Tim Russell, the meat in the sandwich there. So a really good race. Across the class. So well done to all of the guys. Have our podium with us very soon indeed, so I'll bring the results up on screen for you now. We'll start out obviously with the GT3s. Sounds like there's a bit of celebration going on in the background. In fact, there is between Brock and Ash. We'll bring those up on screen for you as they come through. So overall results here we'll start out with the overall results for the race itself. So we have got in first position there Braden Nash, Ash McClurkin taking out the first 2 positions on our podium in the LMP2s. Just bring in the rest of the guys into the room here. So we've got Braden Nash with us, race winner tonight. Congratulations, Braden. A difficult one for you with the traffic across the mountain.
Nah, I loved it, mate. It was good fun. Some bits were annoying, but that's a part of racing. At least I had 2 fast repairs to get me through the race. But no, that was real fun.
The car looked extremely strong. Obviously, a massive speed differential between yourself and the GTEs as well. So, but managing the traffic pretty well.
Yeah, it was good. It was pretty easy. Like, as long as the other classes played nice, you can really pass them anywhere. Yeah, it was good. I was just running a Monza setup for this track, which was a bit how you going, but turned out well.
That's good, and we need to get a few more in there for 2 weeks' time so that you and Ash have got a few more cars to play with. But obviously, congratulations with NSR taking out first position across all 3 classes tonight, so leading that one home.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Brock, welcome back to the category. Good to have you back on board again. We'll just jump around. I'm just waiting for Martin Lofthouse to jump in as well, so we'll start with you. A little bit of an interesting way to grid up there with the GT3 class somehow heading ahead of the GTEs.
Oh yeah, it was good. I was going to try and block them all, and then but I didn't want to upset people. So yeah, that was good. Just fun. Cruise around for 2 hours. It was good.
Managing to keep pace with a couple of the GTE drivers as well. Timothy Russell doing a good job in second place. Tim, sorry about the race start there. How did you find it?
Man, no, it wasn't too bad. Just had to be, let the GTE guys go, in a decent spot without, losing too much time. But I'm starting to get sick of these NSR guys, though, eh?
There's plenty of them around.
Oh, GTE last season, this season, I thought go to GTE3 and have a run with, some of the other teams and still racing them. Can't get away from them.
Yeah, absolutely. They did good tonight as well. But obviously, you guys in Redback can hold your own where you can. So looking forward to you putting the screw on them throughout the season. And we did see as well, Brendan Jenner dropped into 3rd place. So NSR 1 and 3 in the GT3 category. So another strong performance there. Matty, over to you. So able to back it up after the sprint race win last week?
No, Braden won last week.
Oh, Braden won last week, sorry.
I was close, but he decided to go LMP, so I was like, I got to go a different class to him so I can actually have a chance.
Yeah,
it was alright. I mean, I got my first pole of the series, which was good, and then I started 20th, and I was like, great, this is not what I want. But I pushed through, and we got the gap we needed, and my mic wasn't working the whole time. I sounded like a robot, so I think I was annoying everyone in the game chat, but my team were having a good laugh about it.
That's good, and the car looked nice and clean, so able to make your way safely through the traffic to head up and take out the race win.
Yeah, it was a bit weird considering I built the setup.
And Tomo in second place, another strong performance from you as we expected. Martin dropping into 3rd as well, so a good start for you boys this season.
Yeah, thanks for that. Looked like Martin had a little trouble there at one stage, I think down at the last corner, but must have hung on to it. I think Matty was a bit prepared to push a bit early on there, getting through the GT3, so he got a good gap on me straight away. Either that or the rest of the NSR boys just let him through.
Yeah, no, there was plenty of traffic on the way through there for everyone, unfortunately. So we'll get that fixed up for a fortnight's time, so that it's not as much of an issue. So again, apologise for the issue there. So probably easiest because there's 3 NSR boys here for you guys, just to have one of you let us know who you need to thank.
Oh, we'd like to thank Thank you, Stuart.
And that's it.
Yep.
Beautiful. Love your work. No problems at all. It's noted in the
Thanks,
book.
Mate. Thanks, mate.
No worries at all. Thanks for turning up. Tomo?
Yeah, thanks, Stuart, for organising everything. Thanks to JWM Esports. Got a few more of us on the grid this year, so try and keep up with these NSR boys at some stage. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Tim, last to you, mate.
Yeah, no, just the boys at Redback Racing, Burrow McKay, PGR Racing, and Race Management Services.
Good stuff. Well, we are certainly glad to be back here with the Endurance series, the series that's it's the foundation of our channel, so I appreciate all of the drivers showing up tonight. Had a very, very strong field for the opening round at Mount Panorama. We will be back on Friday with up late Friday night streaming. So jump back on the channel for that before we head back on Monday for the next round of the ANSCAR Truck Series. We will have a good announcement for you on that series as well. So do jump into the stream 7:45 there on Monday night. Next week we also have Oz Pro Am back on the channel with their new season. Then followed by heading into ANSCAR GT Sprint again for round 2. So plenty to come on the channel next week, late this week as well. So don't miss out. Tune in to FGM eCast, your E-Place for Pace. I'm Stuart Brown. Appreciate your support throughout the stream tonight. And we will see you again in a couple of nights' time. Thanks very much for watching.